What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Death of the Asia. I wanted to get on here and talk to y'all today about a video that I had ran across by the YouTuber Justin J, aka the King of Reads. Um, I have been watching him for a while, and I started to get a little turned off at a point because it's just starting to get to a point where everything is a ism, everything is some type of phobia. And so I had started getting turned off. So I wasn't watching as much that I used to. But recently he posted a video and he was talking about dealing with healthcare workers with him having HIV, with him being HIV positive. Now I do commend him for being open about his status with HIV and coming out and just living his life and not feeling like he needs to fall back into the shadows because of his status and the stigma associated with it. But at this point, it's starting to feel like he is exploiting his medical status. And I will explain the reason why. So this last video, this rant, I really didn't understand it, and I feel as though some of the things that he said in the video were very problematic. It adds to what one would consider to be the stigma that is placed on the LGBTQ community, as well as people who have been found to be positive with HIV. So in the video, he's talking about how he ended up going to, I think he said the VA, but anyway, he goes to the doctor, and what made him want to go to the doctor is he was having problems with his allergies. And so he was just wanting to get that checked out. And so he went into this whole spiel of how it was so wrong for the lady to be asking him different questions about his sexual activities and things like that. And I believe if I'm not wrong, I believe that the facility that he went to was a HIV center. So anyway, he's there. He's so upset because the lady is just kind of just trying to probe him, get information to, see everything that is going on with him to figure out what's really wrong. So I can kind of understand how he felt that, the questioning probably didn't make a lot of sense for him because he went in there talking about allergies and whatnot, but now they're asking him questions about his sexual activity. And I can see how he felt as though they're only doing it because they know that he is HIV positive and might try and make it seem like what he's experiencing, it has some kind of correlation with his medical status already. But it wasn't that deep to me for the rant that he went on. What bothered me and made me wanted to do this video is that I can't believe some of the stuff that actually came out of his mouth. Like, this is my thing here. You're gay. You have HIV. People already associate that disease with gay people. Why would you get on your platform as a HIV positive man, as a gay man? Why would you get on your platform and go on this rant and talk about how you don't use condoms, you're not going to use condoms, people shouldn't be asking you if you're going to use condoms, and then you come out your mouth and say, and gay people don't like to use condoms? You probably need to speak for yourself, or you shouldn't say it in that way. I'm sure the average person doesn't actually just turn flips over the ideal of having to use a condom, but putting that rhetoric out there and making it sound like, okay, this is my right. If you and your partner discuss, having sex without a condom, that's absolutely okay. But making it seem like somebody is wrong for asking you if you protect yourself, that's not cool. Then he went and said that saying that sex is like condom without a sex is called unprotected sex, saying that that's the wrong language. He was mad because the lady asked him if you're having unprotected sex. He's talking about it's not a such thing as unprotected sex. That's the wrong language to use. He's always talking about somebody using the wrong language, but also later on in his video, he was talking about how using PrEP and other preventive measures is to keep you safe, but yet he said it's no such thing as safe sex. So safe and safety is part of his vocabulary, but all of a sudden when somebody say unprotected sex, he's offended by that term. He doesn't want you to say unprotected sex. He wants you to say condomless sex, whatever. You're not strapped up, and he mad about that. The thing is if you're gonna advocate, if you're gonna be an advocate for HIV positive people, your messaging needs to be right. You do not need to be putting messaging out there to just make people to believe like, hey, it's really no such thing as protected sex. You could have unprotected sex, sex without a condom, in his words. You could just have your sex without a condom. Everything is cool. If he was just making it seem like having a STI, having a sexually transmitted disease or whatnot, he was actually making it seem like it's nothing to it. You just need to go to the doctor visit, and you just need to find out that you're positive to go ahead and get your medicine. And that needs to be that. You don't need to be scared. Like, here's the thing. It's too much stuff going on. It's okay to promote having sex in the most careful way that you could possibly have in order to prevent these illnesses. Don't nobody want to have HIV. Don't nobody want to have gonorrhea, chlamydia, trichomonias, the claps, the crabs, or whatever else kind of STDs that be out there. Don't nobody want to have this stuff. Yes, it's a lot of things that's out there that you could get that a penicillin could go ahead and clear up like that, right? And then there's also some things out there that there's no cure for. It's only things to help you cope, to aid you so you can live a good quality of life while you have this disease. But there are some diseases that there is no cure to put it out there as if, okay, it's nothing to getting a disease. It is. Don't nobody want to live with that, even though you can live with it. Everybody don't have the means to get their medicine, to see a doctor or anything like that. Who want any disease? Nobody wants any disease, whether it's a sexually transmitted disease, an autoimmune disease, a disease that you get just from hereditary lifestyle or whatever, whether it's hypertension, diabetes, heart problems, any type of illness. Nobody wants an illness. Especially, like, who wants the illness? He's talking about these illnesses like it's nothing to it. Oh, it's nothing. He's talking about I've had gonorrhea. It's nothing, and it's okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of if you have anything. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But the messaging is just all wrong. I did not like that. And what was funny about the video is, down the line, he was talking about he was chafed or he had a rash or cut or something in the area. Now he wants the lady to do all her due diligence to make sure he's okay. But you didn't want you didn't want nobody asking you questions earlier. But now all of a sudden you want this person to, not leave any stone unturned when it comes to checking out this cut or whatnot that he said he had. It's just ridiculous. It's to a point where he ain't doing it. He ain't doing the movement or anything any good. At this particular point, he kind of pretty much could have just left his status to himself between him and his partner, because the foolishness that comes out of his mouth is just utterly ridiculous. I could not believe that this man got up there and was just trying to make a claim for how having sex without a condom is just okay. Yes, that's your choice. That's you and your partner's choice. But I'm sure you have people who have young, impressionable minds that sit up and listen to you, that they do not need to be listening to that type of rhetoric. That is dangerous to put something out there. And then he just be making it seem like somebody has a phobia and something is wrong with people for not wanting to sleep with him and he got HIV. Even though he's non-detectable, he said he's non-detectable or whatever the case may be. People have a right, whether you have HIV or you don't have HIV. It doesn't matter what the issue is. It don't matter how you look, what you got. If somebody don't want to be with you, They don't have to be with you. I get sick and tired of people to try to make it seem like everything is some type of phobia. I think one time he had said something, calling somebody transphobic because they don't want to be with a transgender. People, just like you have a right to, you feel like you have a right to run around and have sex without a condom because that's your right. Everybody else has rights too. They don't have to. They could choose not to be with you. They could choose not to be with you because of your status, and you have to deal with that. You know, a person could choose that they don't want to sleep with somebody because they're transgender or they're bisexual. They have a right to make that decision. You can't feel like just because you're a marginalized group that everything should be catered around you, and you have the right to make all of these different decisions on your life, and people should make room for you to be comfortable and be able to coexist. But when other people make a decision on their life and they're not being malicious towards you, they're not saying anything slanderous towards you, they're not being derogatory, if it's not that and these people are not being mean, then how is it a phobia? How is it some type of ism? You know, that to me, I feel like at this point, the guy is very bitter, depressed, and insecure. It's just too much. Everything. Okay, if something happened to a big person, oh, they fat phobic. Something happened to a gay person, they homophobic. Something happened to a woman, oh, they misogynist. A person with a lot of money go through something, they are capitalist. And it's just like every single thing is a problem, and I'm almost tired. I don't like the fact that with him being a man, I don't like the fact that he tried to speak for women a lot. He tried to speak for black women a lot. And I think that what he has done over the years is he has tried to correct his wrongs, because in the past he has been misogynistic. You know, he has been anti-black. And I think that what he tried to do is correct his wrong. And by correcting his wrong, it made an overcorrection. So he feel like anything that is experienced, he has to speak for the black woman. We don't need you speaking for us, because your emotional landscape and the way you are and the way that you go on rants and all that about stuff, that's not even how we respond to things. It'll be something like he's the type of person that'll get you upset about something that you wasn't even mad at first. Like, he want to sit up, he act like he has a problem. He acting like it's something is his problem, and he'll be speaking to black women in a way like try to rile you up. Like, he's the type of person that excite a riot where you just chilling. You wasn't thinking about what he's thinking about, but here come this man getting on a platform and actually telling you what you need to be upset about. And you would think, you know what I'm saying, we mad about it, and it's just him feeling some type of way, or feeling like he has to speak on our behalf. We don't need you to speak on our behalf, because I'm gonna tell you something. If somebody spoke on his behalf, if it was somebody speaking for the gay boys or something, he would have a problem with that. Don't speak for them. He will have a problem with that. He has a problem with everything. It doesn't matter what it is. I can't remember the last time I seen a video and it was something like positive. It's always some type of attitude rant about something. I'm like, how you getting into it with the people at the HIV center and you got HIV? What you mad at them for doing their due diligence and asking you questions? I'm not understanding. What he say is clicking, but it's clicking down. I'm not understanding. It makes absolutely no sense. Them people just sitting up there doing their job. They just sitting up there doing their job. And you could live your truth, and you could walk your walk, and you can live out loud, and you could be free. But all of the bitterness, all of the attitude, being mad about something all the time, everything is a phobia, everything is some type of ism, that's just not a good look. Matter of fact, it doesn't matter what the subject is, what the actual topic is, the conversation is going to always be the same. He could have 17 people on the thumbnail. the conversation is still going to be the same at the end of the day. It's still going to be the same conversation because all of the talking points are going to be the same. Misogyny, war, colorism, capitalism, anti-blackness, transphobia, fat phobia. Those are all ways the talking points. The conversation every time. It don't matter what it is. The conversation is going to lead to that, and there is no actual reasoning being made. Every case where something happens and it's a big person or a black person or a darker skinned person or whatnot, it's not always because it's an ism attached to it. Things happen. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. Just because I'm a big woman and somebody does something to me or I experience something that I don't like, that doesn't mean that the people are fat phobic because I had a bad experience. Just because I went to go apply for a job and I didn't get the job, but the smaller person got the job, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was because they were fat phobic. Their resume just could have been better than mine. So always looking at things as a negative and playing the victim. That's the reason why I feel like the content is dangerous, especially with speaking for Black women, because it'll put a jacket on our back. We have this person with the bullhorn in their hand yelling out over the crowd, speaking for us, and it comes off as if we have these issues when we don't. This person is getting on a platform presenting issues to us and telling us what we should be mad at. It ain't nothing but bullshit and propaganda, just like the TV at this particular point, because you ain't even thinking about nothing. It be so many people down in the comments with so much logic and reason, and then this particular person is still sitting up there on the platform telling you what you need to be mad at, and you're not even a woman. You're not even a woman. You don't know our emotional makeup. You don't know how our hormones work. You don't know all of the different things that we experience and what bothers us and all that kind of stuff. You cannot speak for us. It's okay to be. I cannot stand people who be allies for any group and they go grab the bullhorn. No, you don't grab the bullhorn. That's just like if we had some type of rally or whatever. It's okay if there are some white people that are allies and they marching with us, but baby, you don't go and grab the bullhorn. We don't need you speaking for us. It's okay to be on our side, but you don't need to speak for us because you can't speak with us. You don't have the experience to speak for us. And the only reason why you're speaking for us now is because it's an overcorrection about the bullshit that you done did before in the past. Let's be very clear. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not here for it. It's fake anger. It's fake outrage. It's a lane for that. And he plays into that. And that's the reason why it's driving him crazy, how he has to always do these mental health check-ins. It's because playing into this miserable, bitter lane where where your audience is looking for you to be mad and angry about something because this is your role now. And this is what they looking at you for. It's gonna weigh down on you. You're gonna have to have mental health check-ins because you're creating a mental problem for yourself because you're not creating a space where you can actually be happy. You're making a living off of being miserable. That's how you're making a living off of being miserable. And that's really sad. That's really sad. Be miserable over there on your own, but don't bring us into that. And I just cannot believe sitting up on a platform talking about sexual health with HIV in that manner. That blew me. I'm like, what? I'm sitting up here watching it like, what? You and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying HIV as if he got some nerve to be talking or talking down on him for having HIV. It's just the fact that if you have contracted this, it will seem to me that you will have a better message and better messaging when you're talking to others about safe sex. That's my whole thing. It seems like you should be the main one advocating for, making sure you try and prevent this from happening to you the best way possible. You should be the main one advocating for, using condoms. Condoms are not 100%, right? Condoms are not 100%. But all at the same time, with all this stuff going on out here, the last person that I would think that would be talking about not using condoms would be someone who's HIV positive. That's reckless as hell. That's just reckless. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here real quick and talk about that because that just blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, I know he did not. I don't put none past him, I don't put none past him because he'll do anything for attention. However, I ain't think he'll go that low. I just didn't think he'll go that low. I don't think. And then I'm gonna tell you what he did was he turned off the comments. He turned off the comments because he knew he was finna he knew he was finna get on there and do the fool, and he knew he was gonna get some backlash for it, but he did it anyway. And that's what I'm saying. You knowing you're doing something, putting out this miserable, bitter, real angry content, and you misleading people. You finna put some foolishness out here, but then if you deal with the backlash, stand on it. If you really believe in what you said, stand on it. Deal with the backlash. What you cutting the comments off of? I don't understand people like that. I don't understand why is you on the internet putting bullshit out here? You're bothering us. You're disturbing us at this particular point because didn't nobody ask for that video at all. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got some. I know he been working with the center of HIV or whatnot, and maybe he has some type of contractual agreement where he needs to put this content out there. But nobody asked you about a video telling some people with HIV that they don't need to use condoms, and how you're sitting on your platform positive with HIV and talking about how you don't use condoms and you're not going to use condoms. Okay, sir. Okay. But if you know you finna hop on here and you finna do that, deal with what comes with that. Deal with it. That let me know that it was some BS and propaganda. That's all it was. Because you don't even really stand on it for real. You were so much in a hurry. You were so eager to put whatever content you had for this little contractual agreement that you may have. You were so eager to put that information out there. You knew you was just finna stir the pot, and you weren't finna be able to deal with them comments. Because I know it ain't nobody that's watching that video is gonna sit there and agree with the messaging that you put out there. Ain't nobody in their right mind. And it ain't got nothing to do with no phobia. It ain't got nothing to do with isms. It's all about common sense. Common sense will tell anybody who is HIV positive that it's not a good idea to get on the platform and tell people that, oh, it's okay not to use a condom. Like that just that's not working. That's not adding. That don't mesh well. That don't go together. That does not go together. Nobody should be doing that. Whether you're HIV positive or not, whether you heterosexual, whether you LGBTQ, whatever your sexual orientation may be, whether you practice these things or not. If you whether you lay up in the privacy of your own home and use condoms or not, that's on you. But you shouldn't be getting on no large platform and telling people, hey, you know what, and get mad at folks for saying use a condom. You get mad at somebody for telling you to doing something positive. You get mad for somebody telling you to do something cautionary to protect you and others. But you will be the same one was the same one mad at people for having parties during COVID. Like what type of, you the same person during the pandemic. You got mad when all of these rappers, they were still having parties, and you was talking about how they're not protecting other people. They being selfish. They only worrying about themselves. We in the middle of a pandemic. You did all of that during COVID, but then you also want to turn around and feel like you have no social responsibility for yourself with your medical status to use condoms. Even if you talk to somebody, you sitting up here like making it seem like it's okay just because you're undetectable. Then the man sit up here and got mad because the lady at the clinic was telling him about how some of the antibiotics, they're about to lose their effectiveness. He got mad at her giving him an update. Like, child, I'm gonna tell you something. You can't. The man get on the platform and be talking about capitalism all the time, but to get to asking for money, somebody got to capitalize to help you. You know what I'm saying? It makes absolutely no sense. You want to talk about a capitalist, but you clearly got something going on that made you get on the platform with HIV and start telling people how they shouldn't be having. They ain't got to have sex with a condom. You're trying to capitalize. All of us are capitalists at some point. We don't live in a socialist society, so you have to work, you have to grind, you got to get out here and you got to get you some money. But what you'll rather do is talk down on people that get the money, and then you be on some GoFundMe type shit. Boy, bye. Anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. That I'm about to tune out. That just really had me heated. It really did. I'm that's disgusting to just put that type of messaging out there. It's just disgusting. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm about to tune out. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, like it. Hit the thumbs up. Also, every Monday, I'm on the Hip Hop School Past and Present podcast, all things hip hop. So if you love hip hop, if you like the music from back in the day, if you like the current music or whatnot, we talk about all things hip hop, past and present, on the Hip Hop School Past and Present podcast. I have the link down below in the comment section. Well, not the comment section, the description. Click that link and subscribe to that too. Yesterday's show was off the chain. I laughed for like almost the whole show. It was a really, really good show. We were just talking about the different conspiracies in hip hop or whatever. It's called The Devil Made Me Do It. But it was a really good show. So if y'all like hip hop, head over there and subscribe to that channel. But thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Y'all have a good one.
I hope you black men were paying attention. I hope you black men were paying attention.